Hi, I'm Christopher Sabat. I'm the voice of Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha, and others on Dragon Ball Z. I'm here at Webfoot Technologies to find out how they can make a huge show like Dragon Ball Z into a tiny little Game Boy Advance game. Follow me. I'll take you behind the scenes for a look at the making of the legacy of Goku 2. Here we go.
Webfoot is extremely excited to make Dragon Ball Z into a video game. It's such a great show, and it really deserves to be a great video game. So we're working our hardest to do the best that we can, and we think that the fans will be pleased with what this is.
We started initially with a concept document about where we wanted to go with this part of the storyline, which covers Trunks Saga, the Android Saga, and Cell Saga. We write up this short document, essentially detailing what we want to do with it. And once that gets approved, we move into the design process. We spent several weeks on this, and we essentially come up with all of the elements of gameplay, what we want to do that makes this different and original, how we're going to treat the elements of the storyline to create the best possible result. The brainstorming process starts with us huddling in the conference room for days and days and days. We do extensive research on the series. We're already fans and familiar with it, but it's important for us to go back through and watch the episodes that are going to be relevant to the game and pick out what parts we want to represent in the game. We obviously can't cover everything because the game would be 200 hours long, but we pick out what we think is the most important and we go with that. We spend a lot of time writing a lot of stuff up on the chalkboard, what kind of enemies we want, what kind of areas in the show we're going to visit. We watch a lot of videos to make sure we're on the right track and not diverging. But for the most part, we stayed, I think, very, very true to the series, and I think that's going to be reflected in the game. Turning these characters from Dragon Ball Z into tiny little munchkins on the Game Boy Advance is kind of an interesting process. We want them to be recognizable as who they are, but we don't have a lot of space to work with, so we end up giving them big heads, big hair. It's a tradition in Japanese RPGs that works really well, and so we went with this method. We hand off these things to Mandy Paul, who is an excellent sprite character animator, and she begins creating the animation sheets for our little characters.
For the Legacy of Goku games, my job was to draw the characters. I pretty much drew almost every character that you see in the game, although I had a bit of help, so I can't claim all the credit. But from the start, they basically handed me character sketches or screenshots straight from the show or any other sort of reference materials, action figures, anything, and said, here, draw these characters doing these moves, and I took it and I've got Goku up here just as an example. You can see this pink box around him is pretty much the limits of where I can draw. He has to fit inside this box, which is why his hair had to fit inside this box, along with everything else. So you can see basically the drawing of the character starts out pretty much with eyes. That's where I start with. I determine how tall the character is going to be, his basic form, how big his head will be. The heads are always really big on sprites along with the eyes because you just need to be able to see their facial expressions. You're not going to be able to see that unless you blow it up really big because the sprite is so small and the screen is so tiny. So once I get the basic form for the character, I fill it out to make it asymmetrical, so it's a little not so symmetrical. Basically, I just fill it in, start putting colors, and start shading it out and making it look solid. To make him look surprised is really just a matter of changing a few pixels in his eyes to make his pupils look smaller and white around the eyes look bigger. And all of a sudden, he looks like his eyes are really wide. Even though the actual size of the eyes hasn't changed, I just moved a few pixels around. And then Vegeta got the extra eyebrows here to make him look a little more angry because, well, Vegeta's always angry at something, I think. I give everyone a separate cheek and try to give them their own personality. Okay, so I did Super Saiyan on one feet along with his regular, so you can I can zoom in on here and you can see him walking along. The walks are all 4-frame animation.